All right, so today we're going to do surface area and volume of spheres. So surface area formula is 4 pi r squared, and volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So our first example, they give us the surface area is 36 pi, and we have to work backwards to find the radius, so then we can plug that into the volume formula. So we're going to just plug in 36 pi in for surface area, and that's going to equal our formula for surface area, which is 4 pi r squared. So to get r by itself, I'm going to divide by 4 pi. So this will cancel out, and then my pi's are going to cancel out, so I'm left with 9 equals r squared. Then I'm going to take the square root, so I get my radius is 3. Then I need to plug into the volume formula. So for volume, it's 4 pi r, so 3 cubed over 3. So 3 cubed is 27 times 4. We get 108 pi, and then divide by 3. So it actually comes out to be 36 pi for the volume as well. Next example we have, we're going to look at a hemisphere here. So that's just half of a sphere. So we're still going to do our normal formulas. We're just going to cut them in half when we're done. So right here, my radius is 6. So that's what I'm going to use in my formula. So for surface area, I'm doing 4 times pi times 6 squared. And then remember, I'm going to get 144 pi for that, so 36 times 4. And then I'm going to cut it in half because it's a hemisphere. So when I cut that in half, I'm going to get 72 pi. Volume, same concept. So I've got 4 pi times my radius is 6 cubed divided by 3. So that's going to turn out to be 6 cubed times 4 is 864 pi and over 3. So that will equal 288 pi. But again, since it's a hemisphere, I'm going to cut that in half. So I get 144 pi for the volume. And remember, surface area should be squared and volume should be cubed for my labels. So the last example here is half a hemisphere, and then we also have a cone. So I'm going to start with volume because that's a little bit easier. So first things first, I need to get the radius. So in order to do that, I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem. So I have x squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared. So that's going to give me x squared plus 225 equals 289. So I get x squared equals 64. So my radius then is 8. So now I'm going to use that in my formula. So I'm going to do volume of a hemisphere, then I'm going to do volume of a cone, add them together. So for volume of my hemisphere, I'm going to do 4 pi times 8 cubed divided by 3. So that's going to become 2048 pi over 3. And so then when I get that, it becomes about 682.7 pi. And then remember, it's a hemisphere, so I'm going to cut it in half. So for the volume there, I get about 341.3 pi. Now for the volume of my cone, my formula is pi r squared h over 3. So I'm going to have pi times 8 squared. Remember, I want to use the height going down the middle, so I'm going to use the 15 over 3. So that becomes 960 pi over 3, which becomes 320 pi. So to get my total volume, I need to add my hemisphere, which is 341.3 pi, plus the 320 pi. So the volume of the entire shape is about 661.3 pi inches cubed. So next we're going to do surface area. So surface area is just a little bit different because remember, it's what we want on the outside. So we're gonna do surface area on another page here. So for surface area for my sphere, and remember it's a hemisphere, it's going to be 4 pi r squared, so 8 squared. And that becomes 256 pi. Remember, I'm cutting that in half because it's a hemisphere. So that's going to become 128 pi. Now, the tricky part is I need to subtract out a circle, because if I go back to my picture here, this circle is not part of the outside. Remember, surface area is just the outside of our shape. So I'm going to actually subtract pi times 8 squared. And remember, that'll be 64 pi. So when I subtract that, my actual surface area for my hemisphere is 64 pi. Now for my cone, so for a cone, the surface area is pi rl plus pi r squared. So again, I don't need to do this pi r squared because that part of the circle is not on the outside of the shape. So all I need to do is pi times my radius, which is 8, and then I'm using 17. Remember, L is the slant height. So then the outside of that cone then becomes 136 pi. So then for my total, I'm just going to add those. So 136 plus 64 pi, that becomes 200 pi inches squared for the surface area.